done again. Now, let's go straight to the question now. Now, when will the collation result likely commence? And give us a recap of what has transpired during the voting yesterday.
It's 5 minutes past midnight, and from what I can see on my right-hand side, this is where some of the collation offices are. We have, I think, about 5 to 6, if not 7, local government areas, local government collation people here, and I'm sure they have their results ready. Before now, what they told us was that they were going to start once they have up to 5 people, but now we have 7, and we don't know what is delaying. Hopefully, very soon they start this, and we can know how far we're going. Let's be reminded that we have 30 local governments in Osun State, and this is just 7 out of 30, which means we have 23 more to go that I've been waiting for to get this information. But let me run you through some of the activities that happened today. Across various polling units, a few pockets of violence from the electorates. They came out in mass. Most of the places we have observed, New Central covered across various local government, from Ede South to Ede North, also to Ayedade to Ile to Ife, and also Irewale, the APC candidates polling unit, the ADC candidate polling unit, which at some point also there were a little bit of violence, pocket of violence there. In terms of INEC readiness, as at 7:13 this morning, once we got there, we've seen the INEC officers, we've seen the electorate there as well, with the materials ready and intact. And for security, every single polling unit we got to today, we met security operatives, at least 2 of them in there. But let me quickly speak with an observer. I had to drag her out of where she is. She was actually praying, and we would like to make this very, very short. Good morning to you, ma. It's 12 a.m. It's not unprecedented. This is how state elections are. And I'd just quickly like to get your opinion or your view about how the whole electoral process has been so far.
Anyway, my name is Engineer Juliet Uzoma Uchenna. In fact, in respect of this election that was being held today, the election is not, I won't say it's free, I won't say it's fair, because there was a lot of intimidation. In Ife, a lot of things happened in Ife. Ife Central, a lot of people were being intimidated. There was a lot of vote buying. The Beavers machine wasn't functioning well. It wasn't capturing elderly people. There was a lot of lapses. There was a lot of complaint. In Ilesha West, Ilesha Central, there were a lot of people who were being scared out of polling units. We are being chased out of polling units. A specific place, markets, I don't know if I can remember the place, in Ilesha, the West. In fact, a king ordered people out that they must, if they cannot vote for a particular party, that they will be killed. Yes.
He said that publicly?
Yes. And they were being chased out from that polling unit in the morning, in the afternoon. In fact, people, it was towards that afternoon, towards 12, that people came out to vote. And at this level, I don't think that we're supposed to be where we are now. I'm calling on the INEC chairman. Sir, with due respect, you are a professor. I believe you are a leader. I believe you will not take side. Let people's will prevail. Allow people's votes to count. The world is watching. The world is watching. All eyes is on this election. And His Excellency, we are calling on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So with due respect, we want you to be neutral. Let this election, let the voice of people stand. Let the will of people prevail. Whomever that wins should take glory. Please, we are begging. Thank you very much.
You've heard it from one of the election observer. She wants the will of the people to prevail. She's calling on the president to please not be neutral. She's also calling on the INEC chair to put into consideration some of these issues she has raised, talking about pockets of violence across various places. I'd like to speak also with a coalition agent of state coalition agent of NNPP. I'm sure you went around and you went to more than one local government. What was your own observation of this election? Let's start. We split it into three angles: the electorate, security, INEC.
Yeah, thank you very much. I must particularly commend INEC because without their cooperation, I don't think the election today would have been a success. They have done well. Yeah, there were certain issues at different places, but largely I would say they have done well. And in terms of security, we should all believe and know that power actually belongs only to God. The election was largely militarized, but the will of the people eventually prevailed. I would say that we must give kudos to the people of the states. They stood by their votes. They were resilient. They took their decision that they were going to choose their leader. Nobody was going to choose their leader for them. And today, I'm confident that His Excellency Senator Jackson Udin Ademola Adeleke is going to be duly announced as the elected governor for the second term.
A lot of people would, that is relative anyways. A lot of people have a different opinion. Let's talk about your observation. Did you observe any sort of vote buying or pocket of violence across some of the polling units you visited?
Yeah, for the first time in recent time, you would see that the vote buying was practically done by just one political party. Other parties were not involved. And largely, we would say that people collected monies from people that were willing to give, and they still went ahead to vote for candidates of their choice. So vote buying, I would say, not every political party participated, but I think our democracy is actually maturing.
Thank you, sir. Well, a lot of different opinions from coalition agents to observers, different situations, different strokes for different folks. For him, he feels that vote buying was actually minimized in this election. And just as a lot of people have said, stakeholders have also said this, even civil society organizations have also said. Situation rooms we've covered across the course of the day have also mentioned this, that these Osun State election will be a litmus test for the next general election that will be coming next year. And we're still waiting. We're beginning to hear some rumors, some information about, some result might be inconclusive. But we don't want to preempt this. Only INEC has the right to let us know, give us the right information. And that we'll find out very soon once these collation and announcement kickstarts. But we'll continue to give you update as time to event unfolds.
Thank you very much, Niyi, for that. Actually, because while you were speaking, I was wanted to bring a follow-up question, looking at, because I watched so many videos, because I was following the election back to back, seeing videos online of voter intimidation, people coming out to say clearly. Even the one that even struck me was one of a women leader for APC coming out to shout and say that if our people do not vote for APC, that they have no business being, and they are not leaving the polling units without voting, and they must vote for APC. The same thing with also a Senate leader too, saying the same thing. So this, I've seen voter intimidations, which is increasing. But my question now I'm going to ask is, for how long are we going to keep having this? And even while you were, during the course of where you were, places you visited and all this, it's now becoming a record thing. Now, though they are saying democracy is beginning to come in and stuff, but from the places you visited now, what can you say? I don't know whether you experienced or you said any about this, but how long do you think we're going to keep having this? Now, they said, we know that INEC has the final say in releasing the result, but how long? That is one. Now, secondly, you said 7 local governments are actually arrived at the Collation Center. Now, do you by chance have the names of this the 7 local governments that have arrived at the Collation Center?
So I'll start from the latter question. Sensitive area here, it's quite difficult getting information. And of course, as you've said, if you look at this place has kind of been demarcated, so there's little access we have to them. And of course, we've been told not to interfere with the business or the process. What we work with is we can just account and we can pinpoint that, oh, this collation officer has a tag of another local government behind his back. So that's the best we can do. We cannot approach them for information. We cannot try to get any information out of them. But I can see, and most of them have removed the tag on the back of their identification jersey as of now, but I can't really tell which of the local governments are here. But once we get that information, we'll pass it across. Now, on the second question where you ask, how long is this going to happen for? The truth is, I can't tell. The only person that can answer the question, or the only organization that can answer that question, is the electoral umpire, which is INEC. A lot of people are giving them pass mark for this election, noting preparedness. They've tried their best, even with the late Supreme Court judgment that made them reprint some of the ballot papers or materials they needed for the election. They still tried their best to turn up. They've moved from where they were before, but a lot of people still expect so much from them. And I think generally it should be an holistic, it's everybody's responsibility. Everybody needs to play their part. INEC alone can't do it. For example, at a particular polling unit today, the people were so much that they encroached into the canopy where the INEC officials were, and it made it difficult for them to do their job. It took the intervention of police regrouping and coming back en masse to be able to ward off that encroachment into the canopy. So these are more as some of the questions and some of the interactions. You know, there needs to be public voter education. There needs to be awareness. NOA needs to do a lot more in terms of enlightening people. One thing we know that has been taken out of the way, that has been some sort of skirmish across our elections in Nigeria, is voter apathy, and that was totally almost taken out at this election. So maybe as we proceed, when we go into other elections, we'll be able to see that some other things that have been observed or highlighted, what have been key issues that Nigerians have dealt with in terms of elections, will be taken away. But for now, how long? I can tell. Only the electoral umpire can, which is INEC.
Of course. Thank you very much for the updates there. And well done, actually.